In this video, we're going to discuss the three common formats for numbers: percentages, decimals, and fractions, and learn how to go from percentages to decimals, from decimals to percentages, and then from fractions to percentages. Let's begin by looking at this example, 25%, writing it as a decimal. Remember that 25% is the same, or can be written as 25 per 100. If we take 25 and divide it by 100, notice the number we get here. It's 0.25. It's the same two digits, 2 and 5. It's just that the percentage point, the decimal point, has been moved, right? Instead of being 25.0 or 25, we could imagine a decimal point there. That decimal point has been moved 2 units to the left, okay, giving us 0.25 like that. So these are the same value, just written in a different format, 25% equaling 0.25. So the process, again, is we take the decimal point. If there's not one, then we simply put one in and then move it 2 units to the left and drop the percentage symbol. You can even skip over the fraction if you'd like. Let's try this other example, 5.6% written as a decimal. We can write that as 5.6 per 100. And then notice 5.6 divided by 100 is 0.056. We see the same result as above. We have the same digits, we have 5 and 6, it's just that the decimal point has been moved, right? So if we want to do this more quickly, by skipping the fraction, we can take our 5.6% and move the decimal point 2 units to the, or 2 places to the left, right? So we imagine that the decimal point is over there now. We have a 0, we have a 5, and we have a 6. We like to put the 0 out in front like that. Let's try another one. Write 62.3% as a decimal. Same thing. We're going to take the decimal point, it's there, and we're going to move it 2 units to the left. So instead of being between the 2 and the 3, it's now to the left of the 6. So 62.3% is the same value as 0.623 as a decimal. Let's do another one. 0.25%. Take your decimal point 2 units to the left, and we have it 0.0025 written as a decimal. How do we go in reverse? How do we take a decimal and write it as a percentage? Well, if we're going from percent to decimal, we move the decimal point 2 units to the left. If we go in reverse and go from a decimal to a percentage, it might not surprise you to find that we move it the decimal point 2 units to the right. So we take our 0.6 and we move the decimal point 2 units to the right, giving us 60, and then we attach the percentage symbol. Now, typically we wouldn't leave that decimal point in there next to the 60, so we'll drop that and write it as 60%. So 0.6 as a decimal is the same as 60%. Let's try another. 0.645 written as a percent. How would that work? Well, we take our decimal point, and since we're going to a percentage, we're going to move to the right. And then, of course, we have to attach the percentage symbol at the end. So 0.645 is the same as 64.5%. Finally, we can also take a fraction and write the fraction as a percent. So let's take 5/8, write it as a decimal, and then write it as a percent. So if we go 5 divided by 8, we see that 5/8 as a fraction is the same as 0.625 as a decimal. How do we go from a decimal to a percentage? Well, that's what we were just talking about. We're going to take that decimal point and move it 2 units to the right. So we go move that decimal point over, so we're going to have 62.5. Now, 0.625 is not the same as 62.5. So to explain that we have a different format here, we attach the percentage symbol. One more, 4/5. Let's write it as a decimal. So 4 divided by 5 gives us 0.8. And then if we take that 0.8 and write it as a percentage, the way we do that is we move the decimal point 2 units to the right. So that's going to be 80. And then, of course, we attach the percentage symbol. And we don't want to leave that decimal in there, really, so we'll just leave it as 80%. So, again, same number written in 3 formats. We have the fraction, we have the decimal, we have the percent.